Hi everyone, I'm Heather Crosby, founder of YumUniverse, your home for transitioning into and maintaining a plant-based gluten-free diet, one inspired step at a time. Today I wanted to answer a question that Hoda sent in about storing fresh herbs, and I think this is an important transitioning topic, so I thought I'd answer it here so all of you could benefit. Let's see what Hoda writes. Hi Heather, I learned about YumUniverse from Daily Candy. I loved their fridge tour video with you and all the tips that you offered for keeping greens fresh. However, I was floored at the amount of herbs in your fridge drawer. Wow! How long do they last and how do you keep them fresh? I don't buy that many fresh herbs because they go bad before I can fully enjoy them. What's your secret? This is a fun question, but first go back and hit that pause button when I open the fridge drawer in that Daily Candy video. See, there's an awful lot of kale in that crisper too. While I love fresh herbs, it's not all herbs in my crisper drawer. I like to keep a small handful of a variety of herbs on hand in the kitchen, about the amount that you get in a pack at the health food store or farmer's market. To save money, make sure that I'm always stocked up, and to ensure that the herbs that I'm using are clean and organic, I grow my own, bringing a handful at a time in from the garden when I need them. But not to worry, if you don't have a garden or access to a garden, you can easily grow herbs on a sunny windowsill in your home and pick what you need when you're ready. This saves tons of money and makes it so much more convenient to prepare nutrient-rich meals from scratch. Just head to the Google or Pinterest and search for windowsill herb garden and let the inspiration and ideas begin. Now I do a variety of things to keep picked herbs fresh depending on what I'm cooking for the week, and sometimes I'm very surprised by how certain woody herbs like rosemary and thyme can last for 3 to 4 weeks in the crisper. Now what's fun about the answer to Hoda's question is that basil, dill, marjoram, parsley, cilantro, chives, thyme, rosemary, and the stems of sage can be treated like flowers. Just trim the stems off at the end when you get them home and place them in a glass with about 1 inch of water. Just enough to hydrate them because you don't want soggy stems. They will keep on the counter for about 1 to 2 weeks. You can also store all herbs and water like this in the fridge or without their little vase in bundles in the crisper drawer like you see in the Daily Candy video. Basil tends to go bad the soonest in the fridge, in about a week. It prefers room temperature, and I always tend to have the best success growing it indoors. I have seen people successfully grow it outside as well, so don't be shy about that, give it a try. If I have fresh picked basil on hand, I usually prepare recipes using the basil earlier in the week versus the hardier herbs like rosemary or sage and thyme that I have on hand. Those guys I'll use for recipes later in the week because they're going to last longer. When storing in the fridge, make sure the herbs can breathe. Take them out of plastic bags, and if they are in a little plastic box, make sure you leave it cracked open just a little bit. You don't want to keep herbs trapped in moisture at all, so only rinse them right before using them in a recipe. And don't pick the leaves off until you're ready to use them too. See, with each cut that you make to the herbs, you diminish their vitality that much more. Now, if you got excited at the store or in your backyard in the garden and you think you've overbought or you have too much on hand fresh picked, use this as an opportunity to start experimenting by adding herbs to more of your standard recipes throughout the week. Try a simple mixed green smoothie with unique combinations like apples, pear, or quince with rosemary, cilantro with pear or mango, thyme with strawberry, blackberry, and or blueberry, and sage with honey and cherries, or sage and apple. You can place herbs like rosemary and thyme in a pot with lemon and vanilla bean and some water and simmer for a chemical-free potpourri. The fragrance will fill the entire house. And if you just didn't get to use your herbs in time, hey, busy happens to us all, I know it well, and a few leaves in your bundles are starting to turn brown or black, just pick off the fresh leaves, Place them on a dry plate in a cool, dark part of the kitchen for a few days and they will naturally dry out. You can then save them in an airtight glass jar and use them up next week or next month. And you can feel good knowing that A, you dried them yourself, and B, you didn't waste them. Create dry seasoning mixes like rosemary, thyme, and sage together. Store them in your pantry or gift them to lucky recipients. You can also use them for teas, not just for flavor, but for healing purposes. The medicinal qualities of culinary herbs are awesome. For example, rosemary is an antidepressant, it soothes the nerves, it boosts memory. Thyme soothes menstrual cramping, laryngitis, combats tooth decay. Sage calms anxiety, lowers blood sugar, and hay reduces perspiration. Mint relieves indigestion, heals the liver, improves blood circulation. Basil is a great fever reducer, it's a kidney booster, and a headache remedy. Dill heals the digestive tract, alleviates insomnia, and is also great for allergy relief. But this is just the tip of the iceberg. You can't go wrong. And when all else fails, busy people, listen up. You can grab an ice cube tray and fill up each compartment with 1 to 2 teaspoons of roughly chopped herbs or herb combinations. And then fill the trays up with unrefined virgin coconut oil that has been gently warmed to liquid on the stovetop, no microwaves. Pop in the freezer for about 20 minutes, and once frozen, transfer these ready-to-use oil herb cubes to an airtight glass container and store in the fridge, almost indefinitely. You only use the freezer to harden the cubes and then store in the fridge once solid to avoid possible freezer burn. They really will keep in the fridge for almost ever. This is a great way to make quick, nutrient-rich dinners by jazzing up chickpeas, quinoa, and/or buckwheat, just simply tossed with veggies. Cook up an onion or a red pepper, chop up the vegetables you have around the house, and mix with some already cooked legumes or quinoa or buckwheat. Add your herb cubes, and then in about 10 to 20 minutes, if you're stirring constantly, you've got a one-pot dinner ready. No excuses, no matter how busy you are. And when all else fails, hey, it's nature. Real food is supposed to decompose. So go ahead and toss it in the compost bin, and that way it's going to make it back into the earth to grow more food anyway. So Hoda, I hope I covered all of the bases for you. Now I want to hear from all of you. What are your favorite tips for storing fresh herbs? Did I miss anything? And remember, all the inspiring conversation happens at YumUniverse.com, on our Facebook page, and on Twitter. And if you haven't subscribed to our newsletter yet, you'll want to, because I share all sorts of great stuff that doesn't always make it onto the site, and I send you a free meal plan to get you started. Now go play with herbs. This is like Wild Kingdom back here.